Hi, you guys. Welcome back to my channel, Spiritual Justice Show. I'm Goddess Quita. You can call me Quita. Either one would do. I answer to both. This is another part 2 to my story time. It was brought back to my remembrance. But Spirit really wanted me to tell you guys, because I do not believe in poly relationship. I did not stay with my ex that I was telling you about. This happened over 15 years ago. So the story time I'm telling you about is this person is like really it was way in my past. But when I was with him, I did not when I knew he was sexually active with someone, at that very moment I never had any more intimate conversations with him, intimacy in any way, no sexual intimacy. I stayed around him and I made him miserable. I'm not even gonna lie, that's the type of person I was back then. I stayed with him and I made him miserable. I would walk around him, be cute, go out. I would, and I would do these things, and it's not my proudest moment. And I'm not saying that you should do that, but I stayed with him I told him I was going to stay with him because my feelings and my emotions was already into the relationship. I was already in love with him. So my thinking at the time, I told him I'm going to stay with you until I'm ready to leave. You guys, I was not intimate with him, and he couldn't believe it. He knew I loved him, but I was not intimate with him at all when I knew he was with sleeping with the next door neighbor, the neighbor that from 2 doors down. When I knew he was with her, that moment that I find out, I was not sexually active with him anymore after then. At that very moment, it was done. That part of, because I can't trust you, and I've always been that person. Well, in a relationship, I give you my all, and I put forth. If we on another agreement, like where, I don't know, we dating, and it's just like we, what I mean, and we had like a thing, like, what I mean, and no, I'm not. But most of the times, my sexual encounters is people I was been in a relationship with. I won't get into my other encounters. It's a very few of them. I'm a serial dater. I was, until I met my person now, which I haven't dated no one outside of him in the last 6 years. My first year was it was not rocky. Our first 2 years were good, and then we had a major breakup for our first year was good. Then we had a major breakup for 2 years. I stayed away from him and he stayed away from me, and we saw each other, whatever. We said cool, but the 6 years, the 6 year span, I have not been with nobody but him. And even the last year, I have not been intimate with no one but God. And when I say intimate with no one but God, I channel all my sexual energy into reading, writing, poetry, songs. One of my life experiences I had, just being closer to God and learning and growing on my own capacity, not with a gentleman in my energy field in that particular way. When you're not being intimate, even in marriages, that's what God wanted me to speak on too. Even in marriages, we shouldn't. A lot of times, you should fast from even interacting with your partner on the sexual level, just because so you can have that quality time with God, so that you can remain the person that you are for that person and for your marriage, for it to work. I'm a firm believer in that. I've been married before, you guys. This is not only been married one time, and I am divorced. I have all my documents, all my papers. I am divorced from this young man. I got married in my early years. Actually, the story that I'm telling you about is after me and my husband separated, that I dealt with this gentleman. So yeah, this was a couple of years after I separated from my husband, and that's a whole nother ball game, because anyways, but I separated from my husband, and then right as of this moment, I am divorced from my husband. I have not been in that marriage for so long, and then on top of that, I have my papers stating that I am divorced from him. Like, I divorced him, he would not divorce me. The judge literally had to say, can you let her go? She think it's unreconcilable, so why are you standing here and you're with someone else who you've been with for years and you're still wanting to reconcile? How is that supposed to work? And the judge even seen how dysfunctional his mind was, and I'm like, I don't like. He told me he wanted me to move in with him and his, like, what is wrong? I do not believe in polygamy at all. I think if you are married to someone, and that's the whole purpose of marriage, is for you to be with that one particular person. Is for you to give that all to that one particular person, God, and your beautiful children. But outside that, I honestly don't believe no one is supposed to come into your bed of marriage. I don't care if you agree or she agree, that to each his own with the marriage, but I don't, my person will know not to approach me with any of that ish, because it's already established that that's not what I stand for. And I don't ever think I would change on my morals and values. I'm a Capricorn first sun and a Taurus moon. I stand on this ish. I'm not some wavy lover like need to have these experiences. Some people do, and that's why I'm not shooting it down. But as for me, how I am, no, I don't think anyone should have two wives or two husbands. I don't care if you're a man or a woman. That's just my philosophy. That's what I go by. I honestly think that that people, if you really love someone, you don't want to share that love with no one unless, especially romantically. I love my person so much, I don't want to share him. I don't want to have to deal with, I can't deal with no other woman. When I stayed in that relationship, it was to torture him. I'm just gonna be honest. I don't like admitting that, but it was to torture him. You're gonna look at all this. You're gonna have to sleep, live in the same house with this beautiful individual, and you're not gonna touch me not 1 second. I am good with being disciplined with my sexual energy. I'm very good at that. You're gonna not touch me. You're gonna not. No, all you can do is look. And I even remember telling him, like, he came up on me and just was trying to get into me. I said, look and don't touch. My mama always told me, people that don't cherish your who you are, you let them look and never touch you. And so I remember telling him that. He was like, yo, mama, he said something about my mama being hell. I said, no, my mama was real, and everybody in where we're from knows that. I said, my mom was real as hell. So if you think that my mom was hell, then that's fine. That lets me know she raised me good. So he made that comment, and then he pissed me off even more about talking about my mom in that way. So it definitely wasn't finna touch me. Get me? And so I stayed around to torture him. I went to work and I did what I needed to do, and I got myself together and I stayed. I even remember walking in, because I'm weird. I'm not like everybody else. I walked in from work one day and I told him, I said, I love you. And then he thought, because I told him I love him, that I was going to be intimate. But at the same time that I was telling him I love him and admitting my feelings to him, I was detaching. I was mourning the relationship, and he did not realize that. He was like, you're one of the weirdest person I ever met. And I'm like, okay, cool. I'm cool with that. I don't care about being like your other bees that I used to be working. I don't care about it. It just made me infuriate me, because I don't care about that ish. I am who I am. And so I remember having that conversation. He thought me admitting that I loved him at that moment was somehow he was going to be back in my good graces. No, you betrayed me. You betrayed me in one of the worst ways ever. And you think that I'm going to give you the most sacred part of myself? No, it's not happening. So, you guys, I just want to make that very clear that I do not believe in polygamy in any form, men or from any standpoint. I know what the Bible and other rules said, but also God give us a mind to have give us a mind and a free will and a heart and beliefs and intuition. And to my core, I don't want community property. I don't want to be married or attached to anything that belongs to the community. That's a community. I believe in love is to be shared when it's not romantic. If it's romantic, then it's not meant to be shared in that way. And it's a taboo in everything in life. It's hidden gems and everything in life. And I believe that that's one of those hidden gems. Like, it's to love the community without loving the community. You know what I'm saying? It's just one of those hidden taboo things. Like, I love people I'm loving like now. You know what I mean? I love people back then, but I was just young and I had to learn myself and learn me. And I just knew to the core of me from the very I knew I was. I liked it men. People like, how do you know if you never tried a woman? I don't need to try a woman to know what I want. I always knew I was going to be married. I always knew I wanted to have kids. I always knew what I wanted. So, I have never been that type of person to dib and dab and want. And it's weird because people date me and they will, like, I will comment about another woman's, but I'm like, oh, she pretty, oh, she bad, she got a fat butt, or something like that, and they take it as like I'm like gay or bisexual, but I'm not. I think all women bodies are art, and I think it's an artwork to all women's shapes, and that's why I understand why everybody get the BBL. It's like, like, we need diversity. No offense to anybody that got a BBL or anything kind of cosmetic surgery, but it does takes away that natural beauty that God put us in. You know what I mean? So, anyways, but I'm not one to share, and I am not attracted to the other sex on any level. I just think we are God gift to this earth. First of all, we're a portal. Second of all, intuition be lit as heck. And then second of all, you know what I mean? We are women. You know, we are the essence of what what Mother Nature, like that love, the essence of what God is, and there's love. Everybody has to pass through a woman. Everybody born on the face of this earth had to pass through a woman, came from a woman's egg. You know what I'm saying? So, and was in a womb. So, women are the women are the gateway keepers to humanity. You know what I mean? If it wasn't for a woman, then nobody would be here. If it wasn't for a black woman, nobody would be here. On top of that, so. That being said, you guys, I do not believe in polygamy, and when I stayed in a relationship, it was to torture him. And if he was sleeping with her, but she came to me, she was like, he's not sleeping with me. I said, I ain't sleeping with him. She said, that's why he won't sleep with me. I'm like, that's, y'all gotta work that out. I ain't got nothing to do with it. I'm that type of person. I can be very simple or complicated depending on the situation. How you treat me is what you get from me. If you want a raging bee, then okay, treat me as such and I can give you that. But that's how it was back then. Now I don't let nobody take me out my element simply because you're not my God. And that's just not how I rock. I've learned a lot of lessons, and people, when I talk to someone, a counselor, they let me know I'm on the opposite spectrum of most people. Even when I went to college and I talked to my psychology teacher at the time, because you know when your first year of college you have to take the psychology course, and she was like, Shaquita, you're so different from anyone. She said, I gave this assignment to everyone in my class, and sorry guys, she said, I gave this assignment to everyone in my class, and you the only one that got it. You the only one that gets it. And I forget what the assignment was, what the question was, but I remember talking about my mom and her death and just mourning and just telling her how I really feel. I think she just wanted to see how connected people were with their emotions and with themselves. And most people are in a robotic state. And I remember her telling me that she took such an interest to me, and she was like, I have never met nobody like you. I have never met. She said, out of all the people that I have ever, you are the first one. She said, and I've been here for like 10 years. I've been a psychologist, from a psychology teacher for like 10 years. And she said, I have never met no one that actually are that in touch with their emotions. I said, well, to be honest, I don't lie to myself about anything. I said, and if I'm in denial, I catch my own self being in denial, and I come about it because I don't like liars and I don't like to be lied to. And she said that is one of the most healthiest ways that you can deal with a problem. because why people thinking for me to act out in the world and cussing, I'm internalizing everything. I'm seeing what I could have done better in a situation. I'm seeing how I could have got a better result as opposed to outsmarting somebody out. And that's not, I worry about me. I don't worry about outsmarting, outdoing somebody. Only thing I knew that I was going to do to him, because I knew I was worth more and he treated me like an option. The only thing you gonna feel this. Now that I purposely did, and at first when I was doing it, that wasn't my thought. But as I went on, I gradually internalized stuff. Okay, I'm gonna do this, or I'm gonna do that. You know what I mean? Oh, he can't touch me. I'm sorry, I was reading the text. Oh, he can't touch me. I know he can't touch me that way. He's never gonna touch me this way, or he's never gonna touch me that way. And I just start setting up those natural boundaries for me and him, because I was betrayed, and I don't like to be betrayed. I would never have cheated on him, so it hit deep for me, because I'm not that person, and you should have known that I wasn't that person, and he knew, and that's why he took advantage the way he did. So, you guys, I just wanted to make that abundantly clear that when I was with him and I went and got the other woman, I was not intimate with him sexually. On no level was I intimate. I was going to work, coming home, cooking and cleaning for me and my baby, because I had my other son at the time. My son was maybe 6 months old, or he was a little like 6 or 7 months old, because I had left my baby daddy. Anyways, and at the time, it just wasn't the situation called for me to set up that boundary, to be clear with him, like, you treated me like this, and you gonna pay for that. You know what I mean? And I did, and I could have dealt with that better, but I didn't at the time. I had to go through that to learn, to grow, and I grew from being that person, because I don't. Even though I wasn't wrong, I wasn't all the way right either. And I'm a person, after I do something, I think about what I do. And I put myself in other person's shoes. And everything I dished out to him, he deserved it. But could Shaquita have done that, treated that situation better? Yeah. If I hadn't been in love with him, I could have. But my feelings was involved, so he had to pay. And I'm not finna, I believe in putting my hand on people's children back then. Now I don't practice violence. But back then I did, and that was one of the reasons why I prayed to God the way I prayed to God. Please don't give me nobody I have to put my hands on, and don't give me no one that's gonna put their hands on me. And I said, God, please, if you're gonna do anything, is that I don't like to be beat, and I don't want to have to be that person to abuse another individual. And that's one of the main reasons why I am the way I am today, is I'm cautious of those negative energies fighting and doing all this crazy stuff, because it's never, first of all, your mom done raised you, and you the person you are. If I can't have a conversation with you, then what are we doing? You know what I'm saying? Why I gotta fight you? And second of all, my mama done raised me, and I'm gonna be who I want to be. So who am I to take away your right to be who you want to be? If you want to mistreat me, that was your right. But how I react is my right, and I don't want to stand in the sinner's way. And so I'm not gonna return evil for evil. First of all, it's because I have a good heart. Second of all, it's because it took so much of my energy to be that person, and then when I thought about what I really did, it disgusted me. So after I figured out, okay, I can be better, how can I do this better, and I just prayed to God to help me. I'm like, God, please help me, because I don't like this situation. I don't like feeling like this. He betrayed me. Yes, I want to just murder him right now. That's how I felt. I just wanted to put my hands on him. And I did at first, and then I came to the conclusion that I didn't like it. So I'm still angry. It still didn't do anything for me. So what are you trying to teach me? And that's how I always have operated since that situation, because I don't want to abuse nobody. I don't want nobody to abuse me. And I did have a childhood, not when my birth mom did not abuse me. Let's just be very clear. When I turned 12, 13, I was with my grandmother, and she and my uncles and aunties, they were the one that was abusing. My birth mother never abused me. She didn't play the radio, but her discipline was all out of love, and you could tell. Because my mom was the type of person, she would like pop us or beat us right then and there. I know y'all, this generation don't beat their kids. I know I don't. So in the I house spank my kids. I don't want to put that out there like that, but once you instill your kids from the age of 1 to 5, once you instill those rules, except for my daughter that's autistic, that's a whole different spectrum, that's a whole different thing, but that's what your kids are gonna do. You get what I'm saying? So my kids, I instill good qualities in them, so there's no need for me to put my hands on you. You understand very good, and you're very coherent. You comprende. So there's no need for me to put my hands on you. There's no need for me to discipline you. The discipline I'm gonna give you hurt worse than me ever touching you. I don't like touching people. Is what I'm trying to say. I don't like that. I don't like nobody putting their hands on me, because I was abused from my teenage years. My mom used to spank us, but it was out of love. She would come back and be like, "Ooh, so sorry." And so I'm like, "Mom, if you just asked me, I would have told you." And once she knew that I was like this truthful child, she never did it. She did it like 1 or 2 times. After then, she never really beat me, because I'm gonna tell you the truth, Mama. You got it. And she understood that I was that way, so she knew that she didn't have to parent me that way. My sister and my brother, on the other hand, that's a totally different thing. But me, she did not parent me that way, and she realized that I was not like my brother and sister. So early on in life, she knew that about me, and she treated me as such. So, and I do not believe in that poly mess. That's just a bunch. I personally feel like it's either people who are not, souls are not all the way developed in a maybe their past life, you know, they were restricted from sex or something like that, or in their childhood or teenage years something happened to them. I am a firm believer that that's what happened, or they were born into an energy that restricted them, and as an adult they want to explore that, and that's beautiful, that's okay. I'm just saying, for me, it's a no. It's a no for me. And I didn't even know I was that way until I came across that situation. It's a no for me. I don't believe in poly nothing. If you with me, you with me. If you're not, keep your community. That's community D, because I don't date women, so that's community D. I don't want community D. Community D come with a whole bunch of fighting, baby mamas, drama, and all these ST. I want it. Give me this. I want it. Keep it. You can have it. I don't want it. It's not. Nobody's D is that good to put up with. And then if you feel that's on you. But for me, nobody's D is that good to be putting up with all the craziness. You get what I'm saying? So, yeah, you guys, that alone taught me a lot about me. And if you're in an abusive relationship, I suggest you check your self-love, your charts, and your north node and your south node. Because some women, I have read their charts, they are easily persuaded by the opposite sex. Not even on a sexual level, but the opposite gender of them mindset, they can easily be persuaded. And I have read that in people's charts, and it gives me more sympathy because of the energy that was born in. But if you're aware of what you were born in, you can change yourself and mold yourself into something that you want to be, and you don't have to live in that energy. So you can just say, "Oh, that's my weakness," and that's basically what I did. I seen what I was weak at, and I'm just like, nope, I don't want to be that person. I don't want to be that, because people take me from 0 to 100. You take me, control my emotions. No. You're not going to do that. Sir, that's what you're not going to do. So, especially in a negative way, if you're being love, light, and positive, and you're just being honest and telling me about myself when I'm like wrong, I'm okay with that. And that's what makes me and my partner relationship now last so long, because I'm adamant about, I do it in a loving, kind way. But I'm like, no, this ain't gonna work. And I am very clear with my boundaries. He's very clear with his. I respect his boundaries. He respects my boundaries. And we communicate. So that is one of the key aspects of our relationship. That is one of the key aspects of why, hence, we can have a long distance relationship and don't have to worry about cheating. And plus, we already, know each other before. It's not like we just got into a relationship and it's a long distance. It just happened this way. And he is like big on, I think we can go longer without the intimacy, because he's an introvert. He's not a talker, and he was like, the more we are away from each other, it requires him to talk, and he's learning more about himself because I require that communication. When you're in a long distance relationship, you have to talk, so it's required. And when he was around me, he'll let me talk, he'll listen to me, but I didn't get much from him, and when I did, it was very, he's the person that he's a doer, and then he's a doer, and then you'll see through his actions who he is and what you think. I have to pay close attention to him like that, and he's not for everybody, and I'm so glad. I like weird people, so it makes sense to me. So that being said, he has to communicate with me more, and the more he is away from me and we're in this long distance relationship, the more he find out about himself and the more he's enlightened. God knows who to put together. I'm telling you, God knows who to put together. So he's finding like a lot of enlightenment and a lot of encouragement, and a lot of because he's a Pisces sun, so a lot of his the work, like dreamy nature, like he in his introvertedness, he is getting more in touch with who he are on it, because you can't be around me and be asleep. Come on now, you gotta be some kind of awake. And so God is basically using our relationship to awaken him to a greater sense of who he is and a greater sense of purpose for what he have going on in life. And so the more he let me put it this way, the more he talk and his community come out his south node and he's in his north node, the more he has a greater sense of confidence and a greater sense of direction, and he loves that. So his thing is, because he's a Pisces, and Pisces they thrive on pain, and it's not like they like to be in pain, but they find so much knowledge and so much spiritual information within pain. And that's why when he get pleasure, it's like big for him, because he's like, whoa, it's like sneaking up on him, because he doesn't look for pleasure, he look for the dark stuff in life, and me, I'm the more the optimistic, bubbly stuff. So it like we're opposites of each other, but we work like, I'm a sun Capricorn, he's a sun Pisces. Like, my moon is in Taurus, his moon is in Cancer, so he is completely, we are polar opposites, but yet the same. I'm a double earth sign in my chart. My moon and my sun is double earth, and he's a double Pisces, double water. So I'm telling you, we're complete opposite of each other. And when I go into each other's chart, I really operate in a lot of fire energy. But since my sun sign is in Capricorn, it's controlled. I'm not impulsive, opposed to somebody with an Aries sun and then have all this fire in your chart. I have this Capricorn with a lot of fire in my chart. That's why I'm so controlled. And then I have a lot of Libra in my chart and a lot of Leo. I'm like, dang! So these are energies I'm really operating in, and I'm thinking I'm operating in these energies. The Capricorn is just I keep it cool, like my poised nature keep all this stuff cool, but I have so much Libra in my chart, so much Leo in my chart, I have so much Virgo in my chart, and I'm like, that makes sense, because I'm very detailed lover, and that makes sense. And my Aquarius my Venus is in Aquarius, so my relationships is been like weird like that. That's why I can experience weird people and weird things that other people haven't experienced, because it's in my chart. And my significant other, his Venus is in Aries, so he's a very fiery, passionate lover, and when we are intimate, that's when it's a lot of it's like a lot of stuff get revealed, and we communicate on not just a freaking 3D physical plane, but in our soul communicates, because a lot of times he can feel what I feel and I feel what he feel, and he it's scary sometimes. So I think he likes being away from me just because of that spiritual connection, and that's how I know he's my true twin flame. That's how I know. Like, this person is my true twin flame, because how can I put it? When we're together, is more than just sexual. It's more than just physical. It's more than just the bills. It's more than just the kids. I don't know how to explain it. And then half of the time he can finish a lot of things what I say, and without even, I'm like, how did you know? He was like, he just shaking his head like, I can't really explain it to you. It's just like, when do we not do this? And so that's why sexual energy is so sacred to me, and that's why I don't believe in poly relationships, because maybe I had them in my past life. I don't know. Maybe I had already done that, but right now, the way my journey is going, I don't believe in them, you guys. I don't practice them. I have never have, and I am a jealous lover to a certain extent. It's healthy jealousy, and I don't know what else to tell you guys. I just don't believe in poly relationships, poly marriages, and I cannot function in something like that. I cannot. My nerves would be too bad. And another thing is that when you're in these relationships with people, because I've been in relationships that I thought was going to be my forever person. I'm not even going to lie. I'm like, this person is my soulmate, or this, and they truly were my soulmate, but not in the way that I was thinking that they were my soulmate. They were there to teach me lessons and for seasons. And the person I'm with, I know he's not for a season or for a lesson. He's a blessing. He's a healing. Like Pisces people, by nature, by law, by spiritual law, they are naturally healers. Their energy is naturally healing. Pisces energies are natural, unless they have some kind of mental disorder, mental illnesses, or anything going on like that. Then that's what alters the chart. That's what alters, a person's energy. Those things alter your energies. Like when you're sodomizing, all that stuff, it will alter your energy. And so I'm not talking about people of those nature, but I'm talking about healthy people who are whole. They're healers naturally. Their energy is naturally most Pisces in the right placement energies are naturally healing. And with him having so much water in his chart, but yet he have more Capricorn in his chart than I do. So while he's doing all this watery stuff and all these feelings, all these emotions, he's actually very stable in his energies. He has, I think, 4 placements of Capricorn, so he's actually stable in all his energies. He's actually very stable, even though it may not appear that he is. And he has a world of discipline. Like, this man is so, I'm like, well, dang. Sometimes to a fault too. So we're complete opposites that complement each other. It's weird how God would do these energies like that, but he's a complete opposite of me, but we complement each other. Where I'm weak, he's strong. Where he's strong, I'm weak. Where he's strong, I'm weak, and we just meet in the middle, and it's beautiful. It's a beautiful alignment. It's a beautiful calling. It's a beautiful, and I'm telling you, there's people out there like that for everyone. And if you're not out there like that for you know what I mean? It's until you learn all your lessons, until you get in alignment with thyself, with yourself, you're not going to be able to bring in your twin flame, twin partner, however you want to put it, your divine counterpart, your kingdom partner. You're not going to be able to pull that in until you go through all the lessons. And the only way you're going to be able to do that is a blueprint, is your birth chart. So, and if that is not meant to happen for you in this lifetime, then you just got to live in your energy. It's good. It's good. So, that being said and done, you guys, I feel like this video is long enough. I feel like I did you justice. I feel like I did God justice in here. So, I'm out. Peace.